And I would just kind of build my name up. Even if I didn't believe in myself, I made people believe in me before anything. So when I started my page, I didn't care who was following me, whatever. I knew I was going to make a name for myself one way or another. Like, I was going to get attention, and I didn't even realize what had happened. So it kind of was like an easy transition for me because I was transparent. I was myself.
Ghetto. Good idea. Now we buying merch. That's ghetto. Payment miss. Ooh, the ghetto. Say she quit. Ooh, the ghetto. Late on your rent. Rent is ghetto. New event. Ooh, the ghetto. Invoice in. That ain't ghetto. Money spin. Oh, that's ghetto. Hold on. It's kind of ghetto being a CEO.
Have you been completely isolating yourself in business? Like, you don't have people that you could do this business with. Well, you need coworkers, and that is why we created the Entrepreneurs Coworkers community. This allows you to be able to develop relationships with other people in your community. So in the Entrepreneurship Coworkers community, we give you a quiz to find out who you are and what type of CEO you are. And in this quiz, you get to meet other CEOs that may be more creative or traditional or hybrid. We have these CEOs there for you. But even taking it up a notch, we have local chapters in your city, from Atlanta to Dallas to New York to Houston to Chicago, chapters in your city where we're actually linking up every single month to work together, linking up to go to brunch together, having fun together, doing community service outreach. Like, this is a section of our life where we can really co-work and mingle with other people. It's time for you to get some coworkers, sis. And this community is completely free. Just because you're watching this podcast, all you have to do is pause the podcast, click the link below, take the assessment, get in the community, and I'll see you there. Bye, coworker. Back to the episode. Welcome back to another episode of the Ghetto CEO podcast, where we talk about how being a CEO is giving super ghetto, okay? Like, I'm talking about ghetto, okay? But we like to talk about the raw and unfiltered truth behind being a CEO, owning your own business, and being an entrepreneur, because honestly, it's not as easy as people make it seem. And that's what we talk about on this podcast. So if you want to stay tapped in, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. But join us in our community. The coworkers, we get outside. We got chapters in Atlanta, Dallas, Houston, all over the world. Okay, so make sure you tap into the coworkers community. But today, I have my guest. I am super excited about this episode, y'all, because I feel like she has built a business that I feel like is unconventional, but is about to take the world by storm. So we got my girl, the Hungry Homegirl. What's up, girl?
Hey, girl.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. A little nervous, but I'm good.
Girl, we is finna have so much fun. Okay, so for the people that don't know who you are, tell them a little bit about, who you are and your brand and stuff.
My name is Taylor, and I am a food and events influencer in Atlanta. So with that, I post different restaurants and eateries, things to do, new pop-ups, grand openings, all things happening around the city. Like you said, my job is, I kind of just made my own job, made my own lane. So it's kind of hard to give myself a title. I just make it do what it do. And right now it's working. So that's pretty much it.
I love that. So how did this even come? Because like you said, it's unconventional. It's not something you was like, I'm going to choose that one, right? Like, It's just how did this kind of come about?
Well, to be completely transparent, I've always been kind of social. I would say on social media. Before it was like super trendy to be, do what I'm doing now. Mm-hmm. So back in the day, I worked corporate. I had a job at Cox Communications and I would sit at my desk and I would have severe FOMO because my best friends lived up in New York and they worked for these great companies and they were outside living. So I was living in Atlanta, still at home, my parents' house. And I was just kind of depressed because I was working corporate and I thought I was doing something, but I wasn't doing anything. It wasn't fulfilling. So I wanted to do something more creative because I'm bright, I'm colorful, I'm vibrant. That's my personality. So I always would do stuff on my stories and my coworkers would ask, like, how did you know about this place? Or where's this place? Tag them so we know where to go and stuff like that. So from there, I created a platform. I asked one of my coworkers, I was like, how does this name sound? Hungry Homegirl. And she was like, that's so corny. That's so corny. And I was like, perfect. So I created my Instagram at work. And then from there, that's how I started the whole brand and started the blog. So
I love that. So when you think about this brand, right? Cause people may be looking at you now and like, dang, I want to do that. I want to post, but don't really understand the business part behind it. Yes. Right. How did you, cause it went from just posting and having fun to like now running the business. Like, what was that line? How did you transition?
So I would say a lot of my corporate skills were transferable, but being an entrepreneur, like you said, or a business owner is extremely hard, and people don't get it. Like every day I wake up and I'm like, do I need a 9 to 5? Like, should I go back? Maybe a part-time. I could do something. Because to be honest, a job kept me structured. I had to wake up. I had to do things. Now I'm on my own schedule. So I'm learning that I'm late places and, you know, just different stuff that I didn't expect to go through as a business owner. So I would say, like, you said, how was the transition?
Yeah, like what was the transition from like, okay, I'm posting for fun versus like, oh, now I got this is a business. Like, I got to make money. I got to follow up on my payments. I got to do this. I got to like, what was that line? How did you transition?
So I would say, like, I had to blog for about 6 years, but I was in between jobs, you know, throughout that period too. And the final thing where I just had to go for it and realize that this is a business is when I was working, I would say last year or 2 years ago, I had a job and I was let go of my position. And it's because I was taking my brand so seriously. And it kind of was like a conflict of interest with the brand that I was working with. So I was let go and I had no choice. But I realized back then that I was already getting money. Like, I was already making money. I already had clients. It was already a lucrative business for me. I just had to scale it to the next level. And within that transition period, once I was let go, I definitely made double, if not almost triple, the income I did when I was working with the job. So
you gotta focus on
yes, you gotta
focus on the vision. So when it comes to like the way your business is structured, what is the revenue model, right? Because people are maybe looking at you and just like, oh, she's just posting for fun, you know what I'm saying? But like, how are, like you said, you have clients, like how are you making money from what you're doing?
So a lot of things, you just have to have different revenues because a lot of stuff will be trendy or hot, but a lot of things actually for me personally came from brand deals. So people would see me posting and having a good time. A lot of that, yes, I would help businesses flourish and I would help businesses make money with posts. So that would be income for me, right? So if I'm taking pictures for businesses, if I'm creating reels, content, they're paying me to create this content for them so they can help, you know, grow their business, as well as I have my own platform. And if I'm doing a real review, then that's growing my page as well. So that brings me clients for people to run social media, run ads on their page. And then also, you know, selling merch like I have on a t-shirt now. So selling merch like that. And then brand deals is the biggest thing. So working with, I don't know if you ever, well, I'm sure you heard of it, but if people don't know, UGC content as well. So doing content for brands outside and not showing your face and just creating the content and giving it to them is another big form of revenue for what I do. So,
you know, I love that you brought that up because I was just finna say that, like, it is a form of UGC creation, but also like I'm a UGC content creator, but I also have developed my own personal brand, right? And I feel like that sometimes is the gap for UGC content creators because yes, you're a content creator, but like, what are you known for? You know what I mean? Like, what is your personal brand? What is your personal brand statement, right? Like, when I go to Hungry Homegirl, now I know all the food places should go to you, right? Versus like, well, I post anything. I post whatever somebody pay me. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's the creator is thinking in creative mindset versus like, let me structure this as a business because these corporations are not creative.
Yeah.
So they not trying to digest all your fluff. You know what I mean? So,
but a lot of times it's easier too because they give you like the deliverables and it's so simple and basic. It's like you could do it with your eyes closed because I'm so creative and go outside of the box when I create. When you're doing it for a brand, it's like, do this, and it's like, okay, like I can do that with my eyes closed. So it's a lot easier. I like UGC content. I want to tap into it more this year and also expand on like the agency side because like I said, you know, I had clients, restaurant clients, and people who needed strategy, consultations of how to market or how to build a clientele on social media. This is outside of what people see of me posting my reviews and stuff, but this is the agency side of it. So I want to expand on it more and hopefully quadruple that income.
Come on, period. I love it. Okay, so what do you feel like has been the most ghettoest thing about being a CEO? Like something that you just feel like when you was sitting at your corporate job and you was making that Instagram page, you was like, I was not thinking about this.
Right.
Now I gotta do this. Like, what is that thing for you?
So I feel like when I had my corporate job, I was definitely like spending all about me, doing the most. But as an entrepreneur, I feel like I still have to uphold like this sort of image or whatever, just because, you know, I got to look decent when I'm on social media. But I feel like I'm more frugal now because it's like you just don't know where your next paycheck is coming. And it's like, girl, this really is ghetto. Like I'm struggling. And then on top, not struggling, but I'm just scared to spend money. And then on top of that, tax season, I'm always scared about tax season.
Listen.
And another thing is health insurance. Like that is the scary part about not having a job and just, you know, being an entrepreneur is trying to figure out your health insurance, dental vision, like all of the main necessities that people probably take for granted when they have a job.
No, literally. And it takes you getting to a certain point in business for you to even get to that, right?
Yes.
Like, one, even saving for taxes, because even sometimes you be like, I need that little money right now.
Right.
Right. I need that. Let me see. I worry about that in April next year, right? It is April this year. I need to pay my rent. So I think going through, a lot of times entrepreneurs don't talk about like the financial backflips you got to make sometimes.
Exactly.
Like, you got to like, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to pay this, but I ain't got to pay this, but I'm going to pay this 30 days later. Like, that is stressful.
Yes, it's stressful. And then the net 60, the net 90, like you don't get paid. I've worked with companies where it ended in September, still haven't gotten checked. Like, you know, it's just kind of like, what is going on? But I will say I did really good with saving this year, just in case, because I don't know how much I'm owed back for taxes. Just being honest. So I'm like, I did really good with saving. So I saved.
We gonna figure it out.
We gonna figure it out.
Listen.
We gonna figure it out.
you got to hit up our dude. What's his name for the Albert?
Please, I need anybody help me.
Shout
please.
out to Albert. Okay, he was on the Ghetto CEO podcast. But that's the thing for entrepreneurs, right? Like, because you like, man, you trying to get some of my money. I ain't got nothing left.
Nothing.
What did you want?
Exactly.
What you want? Zero? I could give it to you, right? So it's a lot. It's a lot to, you know, try to figure out and try to navigate, especially I feel like in those beginning stages where you like, I'm just trying to make money. I'm making a little money here. I'm making a little money here. Like, I remember in 2018, like I was a year out of college. So I started my business in college. But in 2018, I'm in Atlanta. I'm just trying to, you know, get my foot in.
Yeah.
But then I got a tax bill and they talking about $15,000. I be like, I don't got y'all money. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are y'all talking about? You know, but you're not thinking like that as you're creating and doing all the things. So I can definitely understand how that would be a struggle. And for a lot of new entrepreneurs, it's like, I didn't know I had to do this. You know, like this is definitely crazy. So I love that. So going back to like UGC content creation, and what would your advice be to someone that was like, I want to dive into that, or I'm here, I'm doing it, but I want to expand it? Like, what would you tell them to do?
Well, I'll be completely transparent that I'm not the end all be all for UGC content because I have my own brand. But I would just say go like, find an agency, a UGC agency that specializes in it and they have clients, and then go from there. Like, build a profile through an agency. It's plenty of them that have a pile or a list long of clients, and you go from there and they submit people to you and you can apply for certain projects. That's the easiest way. And then find a niche. So if you're good at making beauty content, there's different people that, you know, specialize in beauty. There's different people that specialize. It's not a lot of food, but it's other stuff like Walmart, Amazon, like Target. So you just find like an agency and then go from there. Build your portfolio from there.
If you're over here on YouTube watching the podcast, listen, I need you to do me a favor. If you love me, do me this favor. Pull out your phone right now and go to Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts or anywhere that you actually listen to podcasts at, right? I need you to subscribe and leave a review. Listen, the way podcasts work is the streets don't know we doing good if it's not on the audio version. The YouTube version don't really count, okay? So go over there, leave us a review, and let us know how much you love the podcast. Now back to the episode. So when developing the personal brand side, how did you start to make those relationships? Like, did you just go into the restaurants and like, I'm finna review y'all food? Like, what did you do?
I'm Mrs. I call myself Tyler Perry because I do it all in the streets. Like, that's exactly what I did. Yeah. Like, I'm from Atlanta, from Decatur to be exact, because Amaretta will beat me up if I say the wrong thing. But so I really had a lot of connections before I had the brand. Like I went to school in Dunwoody, which is, close to here. And then a lot of my friends went on to do different stuff. Like I went to middle school with like light skinned Keisha and like Jerica, Carlay. Like they probably don't know who I am, but I just went to school with people that are doing stuff in Atlanta, right? So for me, the transition was easy because I just knew people that were opening businesses, and I'm like,
hook me up.
Yo, come rock with your girl. Like, I got this page. I'm young, I'm hot, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I would just kind of build my name up. Even if I didn't believe in myself, I made people believe in me before anything. So when I started my page, I didn't care who was following me, whatever. I knew I was going to make a name for myself one way or another. Like, I was going to get attention, and I didn't even realize what had happened. So it kind of was like an easy transition for me because I was transparent. I was myself. I didn't pretend to be anybody. People knew me. I've been the same girl since elementary school. Had the same contacts, and I just kind of put my foot out and was like, this is what I'm doing. Like, Period. You rock with it or you don't.
Period. And do you feel like it's an event? I always tell people, so I'm from Memphis, right? But I just feel like ain't nobody I went to school with became LeBron James. Like, it's you know what I mean? Like, everybody's still in Memphis, So do you feel like it's an advantage to even raising your kids or being in an area where people are flourishing? Because you hear stories and they like, oh, I went to school with, So do you feel like it was an advantage of you being in Atlanta and everybody flourishing around you?
It was definitely an advantage, but you also have to take initiative and have that passion in you. I would say the saying that our parents used to say, birds of a feather flock together. But it's real because I will definitely say my friends, even though I tell them this all the time, they inspired me to keep going, like to be, because honestly, I had this drive, but if it weren't for my friends and me having FOMO and watching them do stuff in New York, I wasn't getting these jobs. To be honest, I applied for every marketing job in Atlanta and got denied with the same agencies that want to work with Hungry Homegirl. So they did not want to work with me as Taylor Payton. They wanted to work with me as Hungry Homegirl to help their brand. But I'm saying that to say that you have to have the right circle and you have to have the drive. So being in Atlanta, yes, that definitely helped, but it's still a lot of people here that say, I want to, and haven't done anything. It's you having that mindset, believing in yourself, and then also having a circle around you to help support and uplift you and keep you motivated.
I love that. So if you had to, before we go, if you had to tell a young girl or a guy that's watching this and it's like, man, I want to do what she doing. Like she is killing it on social. She's living her dream. She is stepping outside of the box and doing what she loves. What would you say to them to make them keep going?
I would say find your voice, find your tone, find what keeps you going. And be authentic, of course, but also set a brand, like set yourself apart from everybody else. Create a brand. Don't just create something like random. Like have a strategic plan behind it, and then also be authentic. So like you said, keep going and don't let anybody try to stop you from doing what you want to do. Like if you have a vision board, go for every single thing, reach out to people, network, attend events. Don't be scared to go to these events, even if you're by yourself, no plus one. Like walk in these doors, talk to these people, and go inside of rooms that you never would see yourself going into and make contacts, make connections. And that's pretty much it. Like you just have to be fearless in everything. So as a business owner, we don't know what's next. I don't know where my next check gonna come from, but I'm out here. They see me.
Streets. So. In these streets. It's giving ghetto, y'all. It is giving very much ghetto. Well, I appreciate you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Ghetto CEO podcast. If you are loving this content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And give us a review. I want to know. You know what I'm saying? I want to know if you love this interview. So I will see you guys on the next episode. Bye, y'all. New event. Ooh, the ghetto.